Namaste and good evening. I have some crystals here and I wanted to go through and show you how this pendulum is reacting now to energy fields and really telling a story about whatever substance it is you're working with, whatever pictures, whatever images, and it shows it by even drawing symbols. It's just so easy, I believe, to read, but I will show you how it works. And when I'm doing this, again, my hand moves in accordance to the pendulum. Is all that I can say and just goes along with it. But what's driving it is whatever the flow of energy is that's being tested. So let's start with this. Actually, I have 4 crystals out here, types of crystals. And what I was going to do, just go and we'll see which one is best to test first. Because what's amazing about energy is that there's so many subtleties to it. And even in terms of what's first, what's second, how things are placed, all makes a difference. So right now what it's doing, this pendulum, is just testing the particular crystal or structure or substance to see what's the best for what one it wants to start with. And I just did this video one other time and kind of screwed up. I had to redo it. And it is going to the same one, which is interesting, which again shows the validity of this. But anyway, and again, you can feel this if you, maybe when you if you would keep working with pendulums or energy and becoming more sensitive and in tune with these things, you're really, you can go deeper and deeper with this. So in terms of this particular, which is an amethyst, and again, I don't know the names of all the stones and crystals. I just don't. But so it's going to test out the energy field of this, and it's just, the way it does it is really, it will drag across it sometimes or literally rest on it to pick up whatever energy vibes it needs to soak in to actually speak its story. So that's what it's doing now. And many times it'll feel like it's just drinking it in, it's absorbing it. And then it will go from there and flow outward as to the story of that particular crystal, picture, it doesn't matter, whatever. So let's see if it will allow me to pick it up. And sometimes, even though I want to, it just isn't ready because it needs to have that time to absorb, which it looks like it's doing now because I was working with some other crystals and things. It needs to get back to the flow of each one. It just takes a bit. So that's what's happening. It likes to rest and absorb. And I am going to try it again to pick it up, and we'll see if it's ready. It seems like something is happening now. So you can see it's turning, and it is showing that this particular crystal, this is, the distance of the energy field. It will also show the pattern of it. So, and that's what it's attempting to do now, is to show this swirling kind of motion that it does upward. Okay. So that's what it's doing now. And which is interesting. This one feels really nice. It's got a nice flow to it. Now, I did want to show you something interesting about the different substance of these crystals. And I was going to put, and I was going to bring something relatively soft. This is kind of soft. I don't think it's going to be soft enough, but I did want to show you something that happened today that was really interesting. Just playing with these stones, I guess, is even the, like the side of it, you can quite obviously is a totally different substance. And so what I'm feeling, at least, in my being, is to let's see the difference between these two substances. It will tell us and show us. And sometimes it's a surprise how it shows you. Today it was for me. But, right now, like, it's just dragging across it. It's feeling it. It's kind of wanting to get its energy all over it so that it knows what's happening. Well, it wants to rest again, and while it's resting, I did want to mention a new blog, and it's called Nature Speaks. And this blog, the writing comes when just touching either a tarot card or a pendulum, touching it, connecting with it, and this writing flows. So far it's been more Native American shaman flow that's speaking to the spiritual journey. It does have to do with honoring nature. And anyway, I'm feeling like this is done, and we'll get back to it. And when it's done, So it wants to, the question or query was the difference between the side part and the amethyst part. So let's see what it does. So right now it's going to go to the side. It's going to feel it out because it did already feel out the other area. And then, and this is what it did today, is it will tap like the table. It's hard like that, this part here. And it's interesting because it's funny, like I said, I just did a video, it did this exact same thing in tapping the side. And what was established was that this energy at the base, there's energy at the base, basically, that's can go down a little ways. Let's see if that's right. It comes down a little ways. Yes, this is my yes for the pendulum. And then we'll go to this part. And what was fun today is it will drag across, picking it up again, and just wants to rest there. I think it wants, I'm picking it up too soon, but let's see. And this does, you do have to have a bit of patience for it to actually sense the energy. And this is what it's doing. Again, it's gonna, I'm asking, this is a softer texture, so what is, and then it will rest there to sense this, but, is this a softer, I didn't ask that, but it showed me today when it was working with this, is there was a couch, was on top of the couch, and it was tapping the couch cushion like this is softer. So right now, it's trying to equate this part with this. Are they similar? How similar are they? And it will show you middle, is it medium, similarity, is it exactly the same? It will pick it up and show you the equivalency of these two particular substances, I guess is the only word I have for it. And rather than waiting here all day, I always keep trying to pick it up and see if it's ready. It doesn't feel like it. It wants to drag down and still soak that in. And while it is, back to the blog, I did just put up a post about, if anyone's interested in putting up their picture and a picture of nature. And I'll show you how the pictures work in a minute. And just getting a reading just on how that connects with whatever image you are drawn to in nature. And it's just kind of fun. Sometimes an energy formation or healing formation will come out from it. And I just put another video up about this, so it is picking it up. Okay, it's starting to come now. So it is going, so it's not completely touching this. It's showing this, no, it's not that hard. More like this, but let's see if it's fully like this. It's coming up like it won't touch it completely, meaning It's not fully like that, but it's more like this. It's a softer crystal. It's softer. And this is, yes, softer. And that's just kind of interesting, you know, to see that sometimes this pendulum I'm using wants to spin on things. And again, it's another way to show that how it's eventually, it spins and then it balances. Once it balances, it's got more of a sense of the energy in it. And it will come up and give you some kind of reading. It's wanting to read this, actually, I believe, which is, I would think, you know, then now that I'm thinking it is turning, because this is something that, and what was fun, and I just want to show you guys, because I'll show you the other side of this. I was surprised how it was turning, especially something like this. You would think, like for instance, and I know if you bear with me, you might really click with this and enjoy it. I hope I'm not boring you, but like you can see this, for instance, it just hangs dead. Okay, my hand's just dead. There's really not much energy in it, right? You wouldn't think something like this had much energy in it, but when I did this, I was like, whoa, and then I had forgotten that when you do turn this around, this is actually an image, that picture of that Guruji did. And you can, you know, it has energy, quite obviously, it has that transmission. And so you can see, you wouldn't think something like that would, but this is why. And you can see my hand literally goes like this to this, because there's no real life to this. There's life to this. Another thing that I was gonna do the pick, and it wants to hang there. It's like soaking that in. It's very nice to it. But I was gonna do a picture with Ramana, and I chose a lotus, which made sense to me. But it kept wanting to choose this, and I don't think it was choosing it to use it in relation to it, but what it was doing was this, and the feeling was guru, you know. And let's see, yeah, guru. And she'll get a kick out of this, because it was something, and again, I don't look for these things, and it happens, and I find it to be really fascinating how right away it's guru. So it's really, that's kind of fun. So that was with that, and then we will go to another stone, and then after that I was going to show you how the pictures work. And let's see what this stone does. Put the picture. This clear crystal takes a beating. So far it's hanging in there. And to test out this particular crystal, so it's turning, and this did exactly the same thing as when I did the other. I'm going to get Ramana out of the field because that'll make a difference, but exact same thing it was doing in the other video. I just find this fascinating. So it's not like all of a sudden it's going to do something different, and that I haven't accidentally done before, the exact same thing. So it's this is actually testing the energy field. It's not showing how far the energy goes out, because in the beginning it takes a bit to actually test the energy field, and then it feels as if it's drawing in around it, and you can really feel it going around it, and now it's going to start connecting with it. Okay. And this is, oh boy, this is the exact same thing it did. Wow, fascinating. And what it did before, only because I remember it, is it's showing this substance here is different than this substance. And this is where this substance ends, you know, right about there. And so it can feel out this compared to this, you know, which is, they're different in nature. And it's going to, that's what it's saying, yeah, these two different, and then, so it's going to kind of sit and sense it out, and then, I'm probably rushing this thing a little bit, but it is moving in a nice manner. And what I asked before was, is this a heart-centered stone? And what's interesting with that is, it will either draw a picture, or it will look for something around to show, is this heart-centered? Like, you know, see how it's moving to find, you know, something that it can show you. And there is something I didn't, it does say there's a rock up there that says love. Again, I didn't even realize that. It says love on there. And I'll turn this around. So it does say love. And then, you know, it's moving to find another connection. And you can see it's going to Ramana's heart, which is a way to show this is a heart-centered stone. Okay. This is, and it wants to kind of hang there on Ramana's heart. It likes that picture. So I'm making this a little quicker because that would hang there a while. But I did bring out his picture, which is really the only one I have handy. And I was just going to show you, here, let's put a lotus by there for that, you know, I just don't have anything better. I'm going to show you how these things connect up, okay? So, like if someone sent me a picture and then there's the picture of nature. So this is working to connect these and sense out their similarities. Okay. And you can see it's just moving in this beautiful fluid circle that comes out, and it's fluid. You can feel the fluidity of it. There's no obstructions. There's, you know, many times there's working with these things. There may be clearing. There may need to sit there a while. A little static at first before it gets things smoothed out. But this right away is a very smooth energy flow with Ramana there and the lotus. And it is showing, you know, wanting to tap Ramana's picture, like this consciousness is in full bloom. It's full bloom consciousness, always in bloom, always in full bloom. You know, the petals will never wither and die. It's it's always that way, forever. And now it's wanting to hang very still and go around this picture just like it really just, you can feel the love that flows. It's really amazing from this energy force, and it just is in love with it. It wants to just, you know, go around it and like hug it or be with it in a way that is pure love, really. The dog and Jackie dog is there, and just the whole thing, you know, where his feet are, Shakti, and just, you know, showing that this is a divine force, and this is a love force, let's see, a deathless and without mind force, best way to put it. And you just really can feel the purity of it. You know, and when you see it goes to the lotus, it won't hang there in love with it. It just, because that's a showing of what this is like. It's not going to be in love with it. It will just show this like this. But when it comes here, it just wants to be there, and it could just be there and live there, really. Very beautiful feeling. You can really feel this. I mean, you know, once you get more and more in tune with this. I did want to show one more thing about, you know, some of these energy healing formations or patterns. Gosh, I really don't know what to call them. Those are the words that come. But I just want to show you, you know, as you have these crystals, and I'm going to move this because it will really affect the energy field if it's behind there. You know, these are the crystals that were chosen this time, but let's say you pulled one away or you added a different one. quite obviously that's going to make it a very different dynamic of energy. But, right now what we can ask the pendulum is, what's the best way to line up these crystals that would give the best energy flow? And let's see what it does. So it's going to, and it will even tell you number 1, number 2. So again, it's testing them. It's testing the energy. It's like a little antenna of really, or a computer, I would say. It's trying to compute it. It's computing its composition. So let's see which ones it will want to use. And again, this is exactly to think if this is what it just wants this to scoot over right now. So we'll do that. We're going to scoot it over. See what one it wants to. If it wants to use this one, I don't even know. This one it wants gone. Okay, so this one it says get rid of for the moment. So we'll put this over here. And again, this is no different than what it was before when I did it. So this is first, this is second. So we'll put it here. And again, it's even the way they're turned. I mean, everything. I'm going to put them together. Let's see if that's right for this pin, what it's saying. And it will test that out. It's just testing these two energies together to see if they are right in the connection, to add for more of a fluid kind of energy flow. I keep saying those same words, but so it's testing that out and see should they stay connected. And what it's saying is, move this down, move this one down a little bit. You can see how specific this gets. I just find this fascinating too. So move it down, and this is it's just interesting because it does have to do with energy link-ups and really physics in a way, without having to do all the computations and memorizing all the little details. It's just, it's just fun to see. So now let's see if this is, it will say, it'll start whirling like this to show, this energy field is good. And let's see if it wants what it wants to choose for the next thing. And this is again the exact same, and just because I remember it from before, I'm going to put this way because because it will turn this, and that's what it did before. Keep turning it, see if it's going to actually do it and to where it wants it. Okay, you can always use your hand too if you want to, but I just wanted to show you how it actually does a lot of the work. And this is, I believe, because of this point here and how this becomes. Now you can just feel it's fluid now. And it is showing that. And it will start turning, and this is just more of a, now you can see how that energy is really moving out. Okay, and that's feeling good now. And you know as you work with this you kind of, in your whole body and mind, you go, So that is, again, I'm finding this pretty fun and fascinating. And if anyone is interested in getting, something, I guess, something tested, some kind of, if they want something tested for the energy, I don't know if that would work or not, but, or just like I say, having a little reading done on the blog. I don't know. I suppose people could let me know. And if you're not, fine too, because I'm just enjoying this for what it is, and we'll keep putting things out just if people are interested. And it's just started happening, when this last blue moon or blood moon stuff when the messages started coming out. Boy, that moon, it really brings in some interesting wonders. All right, well, I hope all enjoy their evening and have enjoyed this, and have a great night, and I will see you next time. Bye bye now.